A clock doesn't argue with those who run faster than it. When you live in alignment with truths others haven't even discovered yet, you won't always be understood, you'll be felt. The rhythm you carry isn't born from trends or timelines, but from an inner signal no one else has the code for. And now, that signal is getting louder. Every moment that used to feel like limbo was actually calibration. While others waited for permission to shine, something ancient inside you was already activated. The breakthrough doesn't start when they recognize you, it begins when you stop needing them to. And that time is whispering your name now. There's an unfamiliar silence that arrives before something historic happens. Not everyone can hear it, but you felt it. That chill in the room, that shift in the air when you enter. It's not coincidence. It's alignment. People notice the unexplainable long before they admit it. And you, my friend, are impossible to ignore. You've never been chasing the crowd. You've been walking roads they didn't know existed. And while they built temporary towers, you were digging foundations that could hold eternity. What's coming now won't just bless you, it will confuse those who thought they buried you. This is not your glow-up era. This is your reveal. The unveiling of someone who's always been rare, but finally stepping into conditions bold enough to match their blueprint. Nothing about your growth is sudden. It's the result of lifetimes of alignment snapping into form, one divine second at a time. They didn't see the rewiring behind your restraint. They mistook your stillness for stagnation, your quiet for uncertainty. But the silence was strategic. It taught you how to hear without noise, to move without warning. And now, you don't knock on doors. You become the one they're opening for. Some people are built for the moment. But you're designed for the shift. You're not here to adjust to the room. You're here to redefine its gravity. The future isn't waiting for you. It's responding to you. That hum you feel in your bones? It's destiny picking up speed. Some people shift their energy before they even understand why. There's a pulse moving through the spaces you occupy, a quiet signal that makes others shuffle without knowing what they're responding to. It's not about your presence being loud. It's that your future is echoing louder. And those echoes are starting to rearrange the room before anything is even spoken. Uncertainty didn't mean you were lost, it meant the blueprint was updating in real time. While your mind battled questions about whether you were falling behind, an unseen architecture was rebalancing around you. Everything that paused, broke, or vanished was part of a sacred demolition. The structure being rebuilt? One that fits the weight of your coming expansion. Fatigue hasn't been about burnout. It's the quiet toll of carrying invisible contracts you never signed. Agreements made in silence, expectations others placed on your shoulders when they were too afraid to face their own reflection. You became the vessel for fears that weren't yours, dreams that weren't aligned, and patterns that were meant to expire. There's a moment, so clear, so final, when the hands open and nothing is held anymore. That moment is arriving. What's about to happen isn't a release, it's a return. The self that never needed to apologize for dreaming big is reawakening. And that heaviness? It's about to fall off like chains that were never locked. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. Departures often arrive disguised as betrayals, but sometimes they're blessings in costume. Someone recently stepped back, and their absence left a sting. But that sting was proof of your depth, not your lack. The truth is, they couldn't keep orbit around a gravity that demanded growth. And so, their exit became a form of mercy. Mirrors can heal or wound, depending on what someone sees in the reflection. The clarity you offer is too sharp for those still hiding from themselves. Your presence became a truth serum they weren't ready for. And so they fled, not because you failed them, but because you revealed them. That was the moment you outgrew their version of your story. What's shifting isn't a single solution, it's a realization of how much you've always had. While waiting for some big break, you overlook the quiet brilliance already pulsing in your everyday. There's treasure in your repetition, gold in your forgotten strengths, and doors hidden inside ideas you assumed were too simple. But they were never simple. They were sacred. Some people think results are recipes, follow the steps and you'll taste the same victory. So they watch from a distance, trying to reverse engineer what they think is working for you. But the truth they keep missing is this: what you radiate can't be decoded through imitation. The core isn't in your methods. It's embedded in your essence. The attempt to mimic your rhythm only exposes the absence of their own. That's the invisible line they can't cross. There's something coded in your energy that can't be photocopied, no matter how closely they trace. Lately, reality has been whispering to you through patterns most would ignore. But your awareness catches what others dismiss, and that shift is intentional. What's been showing up again and again isn't a glitch, it's a signal. A symbolic language only certain hearts are wired to interpret. Every time it flashes into view, it's marking a threshold. One you've already stepped across, whether you've realized it or not. That long-awaited transition? It's no longer pending, it's approved and in motion. There's something you've been holding off on, not because it's too big, but because it's too sacred. And now, hesitation is turning into urgency. That idea you've been protecting like a fragile ember? It's not just creative. It's catalytic. As soon as it becomes real, your whole trajectory will shift, not incrementally, but explosively. It's not about putting something into the world, it's about unlocking what the world's been withholding until you were ready. This next chapter doesn't start with productivity. It starts with surrender. The moment you breathe full life into your vision, dimensions you didn't even know were available will start pulling you in. What's rising within you needs a space that reflects it. That sudden desire to rearrange your surroundings or simplify your environment isn't about boredom, it's a blueprint. You're not just changing how your space looks. You're altering what it invites. A future self is asking to be housed, and your current setting is being recalibrated to welcome it. Every object you've been drawn to move, every shift in atmosphere you've felt compelled to make, is preparation at the cellular level. You're not redecorating, you're tuning your environment to match the vibration of a life that hasn't fully landed yet, but is already on the runway. And when it does, everything will feel like it always belonged. What's been feeling strained in your closest circles is not breaking, it's recalibrating. Bonds that once drained you are dissolving without resistance, while others are deepening without effort. No drama, no tug of war, just a quiet rearrangement that leaves you feeling clearer. The energy you now carry filters the room for you. What isn't aligned simply falls away, like background noise fading beneath a rising melody. There's been a tension hiding beneath silence, unspoken but loud in its weight. A moment is nearing where words you thought would never find the right time will surface effortlessly. Not with pressure, but with perfect timing. That release won't just clear the air, it will dissolve an invisible wall that's been blocking your movement forward. A talent you've been nurturing behind the curtain, something you almost dismissed as too simple, is about to take center stage. It's not just skill. It's foundation. What flows from you so easily is about to become the very structure upon which a new era of your life is built. Others will call it impressive. You'll just call it familiar. What you've minimized in conversations, downplayed in meetings, and brushed off in introductions, that's about to become your most valuable currency. Someone's been observing from a place of quiet envy, believing they could benefit from your brilliance without honoring your contribution. That plan? It's already unraveling from the inside out. What they tried to sidestep you from will be the very platform that reveals you. The attempt to exclude you only created a spotlight where your absence was noticed, and now your return will be impossible to overlook. Every odd sensation you've been experiencing lately isn't a malfunction, it's preparation. Your system is syncing with something far bigger than routine. There's a shift happening beneath the surface of your physical reality. It's not a decline, it's an upgrade. Every pulse, every restless night, every strange craving or energy dip is a fine-tuning of your instrument. You're being rewired to carry more clarity, more presence, more influence. What once overwhelmed you will soon feel weightless. That sudden urge to explore new locations, change your scenery, or move entirely is more than curiosity. It's a coded pull toward the land where your next version is waiting. You're not chasing novelty. You're being summoned. Something vital to your evolution exists in that place, and once you arrive, everything will unfold with precision only divine timing can arrange. A person you once kept at a distance, maybe out of instinct, maybe out of experience, is about to reveal a surprising shift in posture. What once looked like rivalry is starting to resemble alignment. But don't mistake proximity for loyalty. Their motives may not have changed, your momentum has. That gravity they feel toward you isn't affection, it's inevitability. Be intentional with the bridges you allow to remain. New faces and familiar ones alike are beginning to gather around your orbit, sensing something is forming. But access is not the same as belonging. Just because someone knocks doesn't mean they're meant to stay. A recent dream offered a glimpse of what's coming, a world that felt more true than waking life. That wasn't a fantasy. That was a coded rehearsal for a timeline you're about to walk into. Your inner world has already stepped forward. It's your outer life that's catching up. As your mind adjusts to these higher landscapes, understand this: you're not here to chase currency like a prize. You're here to redirect its flow. You don't operate like the traditional mold. You move like a current with intent, not a container with fear. What arrives in your hands does not stop with you. It multiplies because you understand how to move it, not just hold it. You've proven you can be trusted with increase, not because of how you manage it, but because of how you honor it. The elevation you're stepping into won't be loud, but it will be felt. And it won't ask for attention, it will shift rooms without a word. You're becoming more than a voice. You're becoming a signal. A living frequency that causes others to rearrange themselves when they're near you. This won't be about teaching, persuading, or explaining. It will be about resonance. The atmosphere changes because your presence doesn't ask, it recalibrates. What's coming now isn't applause or followers, it's response. A reaction from a world that doesn't need your permission. It's already unfolding. And the dreams you stored away as childhood wish lists? They were never random. They were timestamps from your future self, echoing backward, reminding you what's always been written. The identity you envisioned in secret, powerful, transformative, radiant, it wasn't born of delusion. It was memory. Something buried deep beneath conformity and logic. That vision was truth trying to rise before the world said it was time. And now, time is no longer the gatekeeper. You are. Years of being overlooked created a pressure you didn't even realize you were storing, until now. That compressed potential is turning kinetic. Your expression is about to erupt in ways you couldn't plan if you tried. Concepts will cascade faster than you can organize them. Long-standing puzzles will suddenly solve themselves. and flashes of brilliance will arrive so clearly, it'll feel like they've been waiting to land. This wave of creativity isn't a coincidence. It's your inner circuitry finally coming online. The blocks that once distorted your genius are falling away. You're not learning how to be inventive, you're remembering how limitless you've always been. That painful collapse you endured wasn't designed to wound you. It cracked open the shell that was keeping your brilliance contained. The betrayals weren't random, they were accelerators. Every fracture taught you how to detect distortion before it speaks. You now read intention before action, energy before expression. And while someone may be preparing an offer that appears too polished to trust, here's what they don't realize: you're the element that brings real value. They're not elevating you. You're upgrading them. The invitation you're about to receive is genuine, but not for the reason they think. They assume you're the one stepping into a rare chance, but they don't yet know you are the reason the vision works. You're not filling a gap. You're shifting the foundation. That gut-level urge that you're built for something seismic? It's not a dream, it's memory surfacing. That internal image of you operating on a grand scale wasn't wishful thinking, it was encrypted truth. You didn't incarnate to follow instructions. You arrived to rewrite the code. Every time you've tried to copy conventional structure, it's unraveled because you weren't built for templates. Predictability was never part of your design. Fluidity is your genius. You receive signals in real time and adapt with precision. That's why the standard roadmap has always felt foreign. You've been conditioned through challenge to develop a rare strength, the ability to rebound and rebuild, not despite collapse, but because of it. You haven't just survived resets, you've mastered them. Every restart strengthened a muscle no one saw forming. That resilience has matured into your sharpest tool. And now, recognition is echoing ahead of you. People you've never interacted with are already speaking about you in quiet corners and closed circles. The unseen investments you've made in integrity and alignment are blooming, fast, wide, and far. Healing has never been confined to your personal story. The choices you've made to walk away from patterns that once felt like tradition are echoing backward through your ancestry and forward into your descendants. Each moment you choose clarity over comfort, truth over habit, you rewrite a deeper narrative, one that was silently asking for someone strong enough to interrupt it. That quiet thing you've been shaping when no one was watching is about to reach further than data can track. What's forming in your hands isn't meant to entertain, it's meant to awaken. The world has unknowingly been waiting for what only you could birth. This emergence isn't timed by chance, it's a synchronization orchestrated far beyond algorithms. The prosperity on its way isn't about accumulation, it's about transmission. You were never meant to just build wealth. You were chosen to direct it like current through the right circuits. Because you understand, when energy stagnates, it dies. But when moved with wisdom, it multiplies, not just for you, but for every system you touch. The intuitive pull to step away from certain people lately isn't rudeness, it's intelligence. Some connections were only meant for earlier stages, and lingering too long begins to dull your frequency. That nudge to protect your atmosphere is sacred. It's a signal that you're being positioned for something that can't be diluted by distractions. The repeating signs you've noticed, phrases, patterns, run-ins, aren't random noise. They're directional markers leading you to a gateway moment. Everything you've dismissed as small talk or coincidence is part of a finely tuned alignment process. Right now, life is speaking in bold, not whispers. Nothing around you is meaningless. You've stepped into a rare state where simply existing shifts the environment. Your impact doesn't require announcements. It's encoded into your presence. People will interact with you and walk away subtly altered, unable to explain what changed, only knowing something did. You weren't designed to teach through instruction. You're wired to transmit through embodiment. Those warnings to tone it down or be more practical were never about your path. They were reflections of what others surrendered in themselves. And still, you carried that hidden blueprint through seasons where no one could see it but you. Now, someone from your yesterday is circling back, assuming the gates to your old reality are still open. But they're not retracing steps, they're approaching a door that no longer exists. There's a strange confusion in those trying to relate to the current you through the outdated version they remember. But the transformation wasn't cosmetic, it was dimensional. Attempts to revisit former dynamics now feel out of sync, like trying to string the future through obsolete technology. And the ones revealing their true faces lately? They're unknowingly offering closure wrapped in clarity. Deception doesn't dissolve because people change. It dissolves because your awareness sharpened beyond their camouflage. Your clarity has become disruptive to those who've made peace with their illusions. They can no longer coexist beside a presence that won't play along. Their tension isn't accidental, it's reactive. Your insight makes masks fall without a single word spoken. There's a message forming behind the scenes, a professional invitation from someone who once observed silently. They weren't testing your performance, they were watching your endurance. And now that your consistency has defied assumption, they want in before the elevation becomes too visible to ignore. It's not flattery. It's foresight. And it's yours to filter. The rituals that once felt sacred may now feel strangely hollow. That's not abandonment. That's arrival. The framework that once carried you has done its part. Now, you're being guided to relate with the unseen in a more intimate rhythm, one that doesn't ask for performance, only presence. The page has turned, and you're no longer reading someone else's script. What used to feel like ceremony is now happening in real time. Intention alone shifts the room. You're no longer borrowing authority, you're embodying it. That creative seed you've been nurturing behind closed doors? It's no longer too early. The stillness wasn't hesitation, it was calibration. And the signal you've been waiting for has already been sent. This is the moment it all aligns. That quiet project, the one you never spoke of fully, is about to alter your landscape. Not by force, but by gravitational pull. The pace of life is rewriting itself for you. Time no longer operates in its old rhythm. What used to crawl now moves with sudden speed. What once ruled your urgency now feels irrelevant. You're no longer waiting for the world to catch up. It's adjusting to your arrival. When effort begins to clash with intuition, it's a sign the season has changed. You're entering a chapter where alignment replaces urgency, and natural rhythm overrides the artificial chase. What once demanded resistance now responds to ease. The pressure to conform to external clocks fades as your inner timing takes command. That subtle tension in your body? It's the sound of outdated codes being overwritten. Physical imbalances aren't always ailments, they're often alarms. As layers of old conditioning dissolve, the temporary spike in discomfort is the body's way of shedding what it was never meant to carry. This isn't decline, it's recalibration. Years of survival mode wiring are being swapped out for something more refined. This reset is preparing your vessel to hold a higher capacity for vitality, clarity, and expansion. Monetary doors are about to swing open, not from friction, but from recognition. You'll begin to see that the skills you used to overlook are quietly priceless. What felt ordinary to you will be extraordinary to others. Resources won't arrive through exhaustion, but through realization. You're not just working, you're radiating value. And energy like that magnetizes return without force. Someone in your space has been growing quieter, not out of malice, but from unspoken awareness. On a deeper level, they can feel the distance forming, not from conflict, but from evolution. The pattern they once fit into no longer holds the shape of who you're becoming. Their pullback is not punishment, it's proof. They sense the altitude change, even if they don't understand it. This distance, though painful, is a blessing in disguise. It clears emotional debris and creates breathing room for new resonance to arrive. You've questioned whether success could distort your groundedness, but that very question proves your integrity. You were chosen not despite your humility, but because of it. Your ability to grow without disconnecting is rare and sacred. You've witnessed the collapse of people who rose too fast and forgot where they began. That memory lingers in you like a compass, keeping your rise intentional. Being doubted has been your training ground, not your defeat. Every dismissal has quietly built your stamina. Every underestimation became another unclaimed resource fueling your momentum. They didn't know they were planting rockets beneath your feet. The moments you were overlooked weren't wasted, they were storing momentum. And now, that backlog is turning kinetic. Timelines will bend, processes will speed up, and the things you thought needed force will arrive through alignment. You're not behind. You're exactly on cue for a reality that doesn't operate on clocks, but on clarity.